Okay, so we all know we create a ton of trash every single day, but like, have you ever thought about where it goes and what kind of impact it has on the environment?
Yeah, it's one of those things that's easy to overlook.
Right, exactly. And that's what we're diving into today, solid waste management.
Definitely a crucial topic.
We're going to be pulling from a discussion we found called Protect Our Environment, Solid Waste Management.
Sounds good.
So the idea today is to figure out how we deal with our trash is such a big deal for the environment and what we can actually do about it.
Right, because it's not just about throwing stuff away, it affects everything.
Exactly. And the discussion really drives that point home. It's like
Yeah.
when waste isn't handled properly, it can have some serious knock-on effects.
It really does. The discussion highlighted how it pollutes our land, obviously,
Right.
but also the air and water, too.
It all gets connected. It's kind of scary when you think about it.
It is, yeah. And I think the discussion does a good job of laying out just how big of a problem this is.
Okay, so let's get into some specifics here. One thing that really stood out in the material was how landfills aren't just passive piles of garbage.
Oh, definitely not. They're actually
Yeah.
like active sources of pollution,
Right. They release a lot of methane,
which is a potent greenhouse gas.
and that contributes to climate change, of course.
It's a major contributor, and even small amounts of methane can trap way more heat than carbon dioxide.
Especially over a short period of time.
Exactly.
And then there's the whole issue of plastic waste.
Well, yeah, that's a massive problem.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, millions of tons of it end up in rivers and oceans every year.
It's hard to even imagine that amount. And the discussion really hammered home the impact on marine life.
Yeah, entanglement ingestion,
Yeah.
it disrupts whole ecosystems.
It's pretty alarming.
Oh.
So, we've talked about the problems now. What about solutions? What did the discussion suggest?
Well, the most effective thing is actually reducing waste in the first place.
Okay, so how do we do that?
One of the simplest things is choosing reusable stuff like shopping bags, water bottles, coffee cups instead of disposables.
Yeah, it's easy to forget about that stuff.
It is. But if everybody makes those little changes, it can add up to a big difference.
It's all about changing those everyday habits, right? And then there's recycling.
Absolutely, recycling is huge.
The materials we looked at emphasized how important it is for conserving natural resources,
Right, and it takes a lot of pressure off of landfills.
which we desperately need. And what about composting,
Oh yeah, composting is a great way to deal with organic waste.
like food scraps and things like that?
Exactly. And the discussion actually highlighted how composting not only reduces landfill waste, but it also creates nutrient-rich soil.
So it's like a closed loop system. I like that.
Yeah, they're very sustainable.
The discussion also mentioned something called waste segregation programs.
Oh yeah, those are becoming increasingly common in cities.
Can you explain what those are for people who might not be familiar?
Sure, basically it means separating your waste into different categories like paper, plastic, glass, and so on.
And why is that important?
Well, it makes recycling a lot more efficient
Hmm.
and prevents contamination.
Okay, that makes sense. It also allows for proper disposal of hazardous materials.
Exactly.
So we've covered a lot of big picture stuff, but let's bring it back down to the individual level.
Yeah.
What can our listeners actually do in their daily lives to contribute to better waste management?
There's some really easy things you can do. Reducing single-use plastics is a big one.
Yeah, like saying no to plastic straws or bringing your own container for takeout.
Right, little things like that can make a difference.
Yeah.
And then, of course, make sure you're sorting your waste correctly for recycling.
That's crucial. It's not just about throwing everything in the same bin.
Then beyond that, you can make conscious choices as a consumer.
Like what?
Choosing products with less packaging or things made from recycled materials.
That makes sense. You know, voting with your wallet and all that.
Right. And getting involved in your community can make a difference, too.
Like participating in cleanup initiatives or something like that.
Exactly. And honestly, even just talking to your friends and family about this stuff can help raise awareness.
Yeah, word of mouth is powerful. The more people who are aware of these issues, the better.
Definitely.
You know, one thing that struck me in the discussion was how even small changes in our habits can have a big collective impact.
Absolutely. It all adds up.
It's about creating a cleaner and healthier environment for future generations.
That's really the ultimate goal.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into solid waste management.
It's been a great conversation.
I hope everyone listening learned something new. And we also hope you're inspired to take action. So here's a challenge for you. Think about one area in your daily life where you can reduce waste or improve your recycling habits.
Doesn't have to be anything drastic, just a small step in the right direction.
And on that note, here's a final thought to ponder. The way we manage our waste is a reflection of our values and our commitment to the planet.
Every little action counts.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.